Yes.
Where?
I was in Thailand for about 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next time
This
please come to
is
Taiwan.
Yeah, I'd love to. No, I was
Taiwan.
filming there.
Promise.
Whenever
Yeah.
you're ready.
Okay, 张佩珍 Taiwan. So you had to climb into a whale body. Was it gross?
Well, let me first say it wasn't a real whale.
Okay.
Everyone played a joke on me saying that it was a real whale for the first sort of like 3 weeks of filming. Because everything was very real on set. We were really having to train, really getting into shape, becoming sailors, and all of that was very real. So part of me did actually believe that, and I don't really know how I felt. I was like, guys, really, you killed a whale for this film? That seems a bit extreme, but obviously they didn't, and it was a fake whale.
Well, though it's fake, was it gross?
It was awful. It was so awful. It was like the way the sailors would do it is they would cut the whale in half, and half the whale with the fin would stay on the side of the boat, and the head would be brought onto the ship, because that's where all the oil is. And what they would do is they'd cut a hole in the top and get the oil out with a bucket, but at some point you have to go inside to get the rest of it. And being the smallest person on the boat, it was my job to go into the head. And they covered us in this sort of like lubricant to make us look like we were covered in whale oil. So when I sort of like slid into the whale, I couldn't get back out again because everything was so slippy. So I sort of like hold on to the top of the hole and try and pull myself out. My friends were trying to hold me, but I just kept slipping back in, and it was really cold, and it was a really tough day, and I always joke with Ron saying it was his favorite day because of how miserable it was for me. But of course it wasn't. He's too nice like that.
So at that time, did you wish that you can turn into Spider-Man?
No, not at that point. I was too focused on trying to remain warm in the whale's head. But no, it was a tough day, and we actually shot that scene twice. I remember finishing that scene, and I went home, and it was just that I had a cup of tea, and it was the most like relieving thing that we'd finished. And then the next day, Ron came up to me. And we're doing a different scene at this point, and he was like, "Hey Tom, listen, could we shoot that scene again that we did yesterday?" And I thought he was joking. I was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, "No, I'm serious." I was like, "Yep, right, let's do it again." Great. So we shot it again, but this time we shot it inside. And my brother actually came to see it that day, and he had a lot of fun seeing me suffer. So I'm glad someone had fun that day.
So how about working with Chris? Because I heard that he called you to congratulate you to get the role.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, he was fantastic. I mean, Chris. It's funny actually. My character Thomas Nicholson is supposed to be in awe of Owen Chase, Chris's character. Chase is this big, strong, scary, terrifying man, and Thomas Nicholson's this little innocent kid who's kind of new to all of this, and when I came on set, I was new to a film of this size, and I was 16 years old. I was kind of a bit nervous. And then Chris walks on set, and immediately I'm completely in awe of him. I mean, the guy's huge, and he's super cool, and he's Chris Hemsworth. So the first 2 scenes that we did were fantastic, because there was no acting required. I was just sort of, "Hi, I'm Thomas." But you soon get to realize that Chris is just the most down-to-earth guy and super amazing to work with, so professional, really hardworking. And like just one of the guys. There was 20 of us, all dieting, all training, and he was always there with us. And I'm glad to say he's a good friend of mine.
And to be a superhero, did he give you any advice?
On this?
No, on Spider-Man.
Not yet. No. I'm sure we'll talk. We're seeing him soon. I'm sure we'll talk about it. But no, I haven't had any advice just as of yet.
Do you have any pressure? Maybe because you have to be. To be called Spider-Man in the next few years.
Yeah, there's pressure, or
do you feel pressure?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's hard because obviously there's such a huge fan base, and he's such a loved character. So there is obviously pressure to get it right, but I have no doubt that we won't, because I mean, Marvel are making it, and I feel like they will bring everything to the table that it needs to have, and I'm hoping that I can do the best job I can. And I've been reading comics relentlessly and research and sending photos off to the guys, and yeah, I feel ready now to shoot, but we're not shooting for like later next year, I believe. But I just can't wait to get to work, really.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you very much.
Please come to Taiwan.
Yes.
2 hours away from Thailand.
Thank you very much.